Hello, we are recording now, and hello, patrons. We are here today. I'm here today, Laurie, with Jennie Date, and
Hello.
we're here today to talk about the full moon in Virgo. Now, before we get into the details about the full moon, I want to first mention a few things. First of all, the full moon itself falls on Monday, the 9th, which I think we will probably post this video. I don't know. What do you think, Jennie? Should we post it on the 8th or the 9th?
Probably on the morning of the 9th.
Okay, you'll get this in your Patreon on the morning of the 9th. And the Virgo full moon actually happens at 1:48 p.m. And at this point, it's Eastern Daylight Time. The time changes on Sunday morning. So you'll be watching this on Monday. On Sunday, the time changed first thing in the morning. At 6:47 a.m. on Sunday morning, the moon entered Virgo, getting ready to line up opposed the sun for the new moon at 1:48 p.m. on Monday. The other thing that I want to mention before letting Jennie talk more about the full moon itself is that tonight, right before midnight, 11:48 p.m., Mercury will be going direct at 28 degrees Aquarius. Now remember, when you are thinking about this full moon, the moon is in Virgo. So remember how we start on the ascendant, the cusp of your first house, looking for that Virgo symbol to determine what house the full moon is landing in your chart. Okay. Jennie, you want to talk about the full moon?
I do.
Good.
Thanks for having me, Laurie. So yeah, we're looking forward to this full moon. It's going to be at 19 degrees of Virgo, which means it's going to be exactly opposite the sun in Pisces. So the sun will be at 19 degrees of Pisces. And anytime there's a full moon, all you have to know is the sun sign, and you know that the full moon is the exact opposite. So everybody knows, probably, who's watching this, that the sun is in Pisces, and then you automatically get to know that the moon is in Virgo because it's exactly opposite for every single full moon. When we have a full moon, you see that big shiny orb in the sky, and that is also ties in with its meaning, which is that things come to full illumination during the full moon. And in being in Virgo, Virgo is that sign that is tied in with that need to be correct and insightful and discriminating. So those are some of the designations for our Virgo full moon, some of the sign energies that are tied in with that moon. Let's see, what else is going on that day? Oh, here's our illustration. So there you go. Look, you can see that 19-degree Virgo moon right opposite. So just symbolically, you can see that, look how much awareness is available. I mean, they can look right across each other and see each other so clearly, that sun and moon. Yes, there's a beautiful opposition. There we go. So you really can see that now. The other nice thing about this full moon is that it has really nice aspects to all that Capricorn. So all of our challenging things going on in Capricorn right now with Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter and Mars, it's a really nice flowing trine to the moon and a sextile to the sun. So that's cool. We like that. And then you also, what else is happening that day? You will also notice that the sun connected with Neptune the day before. So there's a very dreamy, ethereal component to this full moon. Yeah, so that's basically what we can expect. Look at those nice lines.
That's beautiful. So tell me, I'm just kind of trying to think this through here. The fact that the sun and Neptune are right together in Pisces, which is the sign that Neptune rules. So that really does heighten that dreaminess of this period of time, doesn't it?
It does. It
Yeah.
does. And it's in that direct contrast. The Virgo moon is the opposite of that, right? That Virgo moon is very meticulous and discerning and discriminating and cutting right into the heart of the issue there, with the mind. So that's the polarity, that dreaminess versus the insightful, analytical, meticulous nature.
So does that mean if you're looking at this thinking, okay, there's a clarity. Whenever there's an opposition, there's a clarity.
Hmm.
Well, that moon is that specific looking into the details of Virgo is able to fully see the dreaminess.
I think well, there's a little bit of a balance, a pull in both
Yeah.
directions.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you want to be dreamy and sleepy and off in that imagination realm. And on the other hand, there's this other desire to be cutting and clean and insightful and getting right to it.
So
Uh,
maybe a really great way to use this would be to sit down and write poetry.
Yes. Or do like inquiry meditation, so you're in that meditative state, but you have specific inquiries into specific things.
Yeah, and the thing, because this is the chart of the moment in Eastern time, at least, if you just look at this, the poetry that you write or the inquiry you're making in your meditation is going to directly be regarding issues of relationship.
That's a great way to put it. Yep.
Interesting.
I like that.
So we should all spend time on Monday afternoon really contemplating deeply, but with imagination and dreaminess, our interactions, our pretty serious interactions with others.
I think that's a great use of the energy.
Wow, I like
Yeah.
that. I
Hmm.
like that. Okay. So what else do we need to know about this?
Well, I think that this is the apex of the cycle. So we've had the new moon in Pisces 2 weeks ago. We had the first quarter square. Now we're at the full moon. So at the apex, whatever you've been working in comes into full illumination. And from here, the next steps are to start letting that cycle go. So starting to reap the fruits of your labor, of whatever you put in those first 2 weeks, and then allowing what's left undone to just be, to let it go. There's a big letting go piece that is the second half of the cycle, and very important half of the cycle. So that's what's next. And then also, because Mercury is going to go direct later that day, we're going to start coming out of that fog that we've been in. We've probably all felt a little at sea in the last few weeks. Certainly know I have.
Thank goodness. And at the same time, the sun will be pulling farther away from Neptune. So yeah,
Yes.
in many ways, we'll get a little sharper as the days go by.
Yes, and because the sun is in Pisces, we're at that final phase of the year, and we start the new astrology year once that moves into Aries, and once we have that new moon in Aries on March 24th, right after the equinox there. So that's kind of what's next. Big shift.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's it, though.
Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
another thing I want to just kind of dial back to something you said earlier, because I feel a little silly when I think about how long I studied astrology without knowing some of these simple things, because I wasn't watching what was going on up in the motion of the planets as much as my studies initially were all about the natal chart, and I was so busy looking at natal charts, I wasn't as aware of the simplicity and beauty of some of the cycles. So when you said that we know the sun is in Pisces, therefore the full moon is in Virgo, I think it took me many years before I understood that every time, the sun will move into Aries. So next month, the new moon will be in Aries. the
Mhm.
full moon will be in Libra. And so it goes like that. Every single year has a new moon in the sign the sun is moving through, and the corresponding full moon on the opposite side. So,
Yeah. Which is, yeah, it presents a really nice like bilateralism to the year so that you're always touching back on issues that you visited early on. So when you had the new moon in Pisces, you are going to look to whenever the next time that moon is full in Pisces. And so, and we'll talk more about that with our new moon ones, but that's just a good thing. So this full moon in Virgo is a continuation of something that started at the new moon in Virgo.
6 months ago.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
September, right? Yeah. So whatever seed you planted at the new moon back in September of 2019, this brings the bigger cycle of fruition too. Is
Yeah, exactly.
that right?
Yeah,
Awesome.
great.
Awesome. I think that's all we need to tell you today. And I'm going to stop the sharing here if I can figure out how to get out of my own way. Yep, there we go. Okay, well, thank you everybody very much. And any kind of feedback is welcome. Otherwise, you will hear from us for the new moon video next month. And you'll probably hear from us before that because we are having so much fun. We're going to be making videos left and right. If you have particular little topics that you'd like us to talk to you about, let us know. Send me an email. My email address is astrolore@gmail.com. Jennie, what's yours?
I am hiddenpathastrology@gmail.com.
Okay. And be sure to go visit Jennie's website, which is Hidden Path Astrology, and mine, which is Astrolore. And just wait for it. I've got a new website coming soon. So thank you all very much. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Ta-ta.